we have one more day of severe weather that is going to occur, and then we're going to get into a very quiet period. So if we want to just dive right into things here, we can tell that an enhanced risk of severe weather has been put in play for portions like Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes, maybe even a strong tornado or two, are going to be possible. As you can see, we do have a 10% hatch tornado risk today across a fairly large area. And on the outside of that, we do actually have a 10% non-hatch tornado risk. But I do think in that area, we still have the chance to see a strong tornado. And even across this 5% risk area, I do think we have the chance for a strong tornado or two to occur. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We do actually have a 45% non-hatch damaging wind threat today. If it becomes hatched in the next outlook, it will become a moderate risk of severe weather. And that would not surprise me, as it does look like we may have a bit of a linear storm mode today. And luckily yesterday didn't pan out how it was expected, and hopefully today doesn't either. You can tell the severe hail outlook. It is a pretty broad and slim 30% hatched risk. And we could be seeing a hail up to softballs today. This is about the fourth day in a row that we are watching that potential. But it is across a very broad area. Moving on to tomorrow, this is the first time we haven't had a slight risk of severe weather in well over a week. You can tell a marginal risk of severe weather is in play, and there's good news coming out of this. Yes, we may have a 2% tornado risk, but it is a very low-end threat coming out of this. So 2% tornado risk. We do have a 5% hail risk, 5% severe wind risk, Sorry about that. And the good thing is, there's no hail risk. We can move on to Thursday, have a very small marginal risk of severe weather in Oklahoma and Texas, and damaging winds, large hail, maybe some quarter-sized hail will be possible, and maybe an isolated tornado threat. But it looks like we are about to get very quiet, and that is not a bad thing. Now, I thought I'd move over here to pivotal weather here on the GFS, because I want to look at the jet stream and why it's going to be getting quiet. So if we go ahead and play it forward, you can see that today's severe weather threat, and then we're looking here, and we do get a bit of a dip in the jet stream right here, as that is going to promote that isolated threat for severe weather. But nothing too crazy, thankfully, as surprisingly, this honestly looks to kind of stay. Maybe these minimal threats of severe weather are going to be possible, which is a good thing, keep in mind. So if we go and play it forward a bit more, you can tell Jetstream really gets really quiet. And you can tell not much. Now, I am watching here this low pressure system that is starting to spin up here. This is on Wednesday the 28th. So we got to watch this for a threat of severe weather across this area. But I don't think it will be too severe, and we are forecasting pretty far out right now. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward a bit more. You can tell that keeps just spinning. And I don't know what this is trying to really pick up on down here, this low pressure system. Probably just a lot of heavy rain and not very much in the way of severe weather, which is a good thing, like I said. That is a very good thing after what has been occurring the past couple of days, over the past week. As we're going to get into this period where our jet stream is very lifted to the north, and this is the 384th hour. You could tell we did not get any big dips in the jet stream, and our jet stream is lifted pretty far to the north, which is not going to promote any significant severe weather that is going to occur. If I go ahead and head over here to the European model, go ahead and take a look at the jet stream, you will tell that it's kind of on the same, it's trying to paint the same picture as the GFS here. That one dip, and then we're going to get this really quiet period. Our jet stream is going to be lifted off to the north by a long way. And then we have to start watching this maybe for a severe weather threat up in the northeast. But you can tell jet stream lifted extremely far to the north, as that is a good thing. Like I had said, not much in the way of severe weather is going to occur with this. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any more organized severe weather threats for the rest of May into the beginning of June. Now, maybe by the middle of June, we might start to heat up a little bit for a week or two. But I don't think anything really too severe is going to occur out of this. If we go and look at the HRRR, though, for today, come back to reality. So today you can tell we are going to see some sporadic supercells go up. They're going to be widely scattered, and damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes will be possible, maybe even a long track one, before we get later tonight and we kind of get this broken line. And we are going to have to keep watching for any of these that may start to spin, but nothing too severe, I don't think, and so that will move out of the area. If we go ahead and back it up some to around here, look at the significant tornado parameter. You can tell, luckily it's not extremely high. We are going to have this area that we have to watch, but it's not super high, which is a good thing, keep in mind, as we've had multiple days of severe weather outbreaks over the past week. If we go and move on to the NAM NST model, like I said, like I said in the past, this is a model that leans linear, and as you can tell, it is leaning linear right now. So we're going to have to watch that, but I don't think anything too severe is going to come out of this today. I do think damaging winds and large hail are going to be the main threats, and I don't really think our tornado threat is going to be able to organize today. As you can tell, we are going to have, like I said, this like swath that we have to watch. But if we do have linear storm mode like the NAM NST is picturing, then we are not going to see much in the way of tornadoes. That is kind of how yesterday was a little bit. We did have that line. It was a lot farther to the east than anticipated, and it didn't produce a lot of tornadoes. It produced a few, and a few long track and strong, but nothing too severe came out of it, like we had said, as we're going to have to just keep an eye on it. If I go ahead and head back to 6Z for the GFS, and this is just going to be showing you like what is going to occur over the next like 3 weeks. Keep in mind, once we get past like hour 100, things to get really uncertain. But as you can tell here, it's going to get really quiet. May have some showers up in the northwest, and we may have some rain showers up here in the northeast in the Ohio Valley. But apart from that, that's our jet stream coming into play. We do maybe get a bit more of a organized severe threat on Friday the 23rd. We may get a bit more of an organized severe threat down here in Texas. But still, I mean, I don't think anything severe really is going to come out of these. Nothing too crazy. As yet again here, I do think our severe threats are going to be coming out of Texas, roughly across this area for the rest of May. As you can tell here, across this area right here, we're watching. This is next Monday. So, gonna keep an eye on all of this, but this is what our jet stream. Not very many severe threats, as you can tell, as it looks like very quiet period. Looks like Texas is going to be getting a lot of rain over the course of these next couple weeks, but nothing organized, as you can tell, is painting out right now. By the end of the run, this is way too far out to say anything, but you can tell a very large rain event occurring from the Ohio Valley and Dixie Alley, east and northeast. So keeping an eye on that, but it's way too far out to get into specifics on that. Here we go here with the ECMWF. This is the European model, so kind of showing that same picture. I will say it does want a bit of a more intense severe risk Friday and a bit farther to the north, so we are watching that closely across this area or if it's going to be back here confined to Texas. So that is a bit of disagreement right now. But like I said, I don't think anything too crazy is going to occur over the next couple weeks. So just going to keep an eye on it here. We are only 17 subscribers away from 300, so please drop a like and subscribe if you are new here, as it would really I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.